Hey guys, so usually on my channel I have different side hustles, ways to make money, part-time jobs, and overall how to better your financial life. Today we're going into some different ways to save money because no matter how much money you make, if you don't know how to save it, it is completely useless. So today we're going into some life hacks to save you some money today. If you want all of that, continue watching. Hi, if you're new to my channel, my name is Theo, and today we're going into some of my favorite life hacks that I have implemented to be able to save a lot of money every single month. So as a student, my income is lower than it has been more than any other point in my life. Because of this, I've had to be able to become very savvy to keep my standard of living, of traveling about once a month and not going into a lot of debt. So with that being said, let's get into tip number one, and that is buying store brand products. So if you've ever been to a department store or grocery store, you know that there are the name brands and then you also have the generic store brands. And those store brands are usually not much different than the other brands. I was actually really surprised that I used to buy Listerine that was about almost $4 with tax, and I could get the same exact Listerine, exact same thing, but it was a different brand from Dollar Tree for $1.07. So you can see how if you're buying this every few months, you know, it adds up. You know, obviously this isn't a life-changing amount, but you can see if you change everything that you're buying at the store to a generic store brand, how you can be saving a lot of money every single month. So when I was in Madrid, Spain, I got into a phase of zero waste living. If that's something you're interested, I do want to encourage you to go check out this video about how I did a zero waste challenge for 30 days in Madrid. But essentially I learned how to make my own cleaning products because, as you know, most cleaning products have some kind of waste with plastic. By making my own cleaning supplies, I reduced my cleaning bill from, I don't know, maybe 50 bucks a month to virtually nothing. Just with using baking soda, vinegar, and lemon, that is what are the main components of a lot of cleaning supplies. And honestly, with a little bit of water, that's all you need to clean most surfaces. My third thing is something else I adopted when living in Madrid, and that was that the heat wasn't as powerful as what I was accustomed to in the United States. So I learned how to bundle up more in the winter to be able to save on heating costs in the winter. So that's something I want to mention, is if you bundle up in the winter and you dress for the season rather than only dressing outside in the season, and then when you're inside you're just in like a tank top and have the heat going, to wear warm clothes the entire day, and then you're gonna save a lot on your heating bill. I will say it's a little unconventional, can be a little uncomfortable, but this saved us a ton of money in our electric bill every single month in the winter. My fourth tip is making your own coffee and beverages at home. So when I was a student, obviously broke. The first time, absolutely broke, could not afford to go out to the bars and stuff. So my friends and I would just pregame at our house and we would mix our own drinks. But that's something you can continue to do even when you are in the workforce and have a full-time job, is to make your own drinks before you go out to the bars. Obviously get an Uber or have a DD, but also making your own coffee at home. If you have your own coffee container per cup, a lot of times you're only spending 20 cents a coffee. That will save you a ton of money if you're somebody that needs a few cups of coffee every single day and you're going to places like Starbucks and Scooters every day to get coffee. My next tip, which is probably the most important tip that has saved me a ton of money ever, is using up things before you buy more. Especially as a woman, it can be very, very addicting to always be buying beauty products, makeup, clothes, but you already have foundation that you might not love, but you still have it. And if you wait until it's gone, you're gonna be saving money. You're gonna be prolonging that money you would have allotted to your foundation to a later period in time. So me, for example, as an influencer, companies will send me products just to review. And in this particular foundation, I didn't like. I'm actually wearing it right now. Didn't like it. It makes me look kind of orange, and whatever, I have it. The only reason why I still use it is because I'm thinking I don't want to spend this money on more until I use what I already have, which has saved me money in foundation. And the same thing, this goes with makeup, this goes with food, this goes with clothes, this goes with anything you have. Don't be buying more until it is gone. And this is something we definitely did when I lived in Spain on my own. I would have the freezer full of stuff that I never used. So I made a commitment, like I'm not gonna buy another thing in the freezer until everything else is gone. And that saves you so much money. And you'd be surprised how many things are in your fridge just sitting there that you don't want to eat, just sitting there hanging out until you actually commit to just eating it and getting rid of it or whatever you want to do with it. This one tip has saved me thousands of dollars, hands down, a year. And the next thing is using cashback app on anything you buy. So you can either get a cashback credit card. I use the Chase Unlimited Freedom card that gives you 1.5% cashback on anything you buy. There's tons of other credit cards if you're good with credit. Also, there's different apps you can use online like Ibotta and Trim and Honey and WikiBuy. There's literally so many out there, but also there are cashback apps for your gas. When you gas up every day, I use an app called Get Upside. I'm gonna put a link in the description. If you wanna sign up, you get 15 cents off per gallon the first time you use it if you go through my link. But this is just free money that you're already gonna spend this money anyways. You get the cash back, and at the end of the month, you get a check for how much that cash back is. It's a wonderful invention. You should be taking advantage of it. The next thing I did was relook at all of my subscriptions. When I first went to Spain, I was so surprised how many subscriptions I had on my credit card that I've been paying for nothing because I wasn't in the US anymore. And there was little things, you know, like a $5 subscription here, a $10 subscription there, you know, another 10 here, another 10 there, and you just kind of forget about it because it's like, oh, it's just $10, whatever. But at the end of the month, I was spending $100 wasted for subscriptions that I wasn't even using anymore. So you should definitely review all your subscriptions and honestly delete as many as you can. If you have a gym and you're very like, I want to work out, consider doing some workouts on YouTube in your home in the morning and at night. Consider getting some space with your friend and just working out, or consider just going on a run outside. Another thing that people don't really talk about is eating healthy and exercising is gonna save you a lot on obviously medical bills. If you are always sick, you're gonna be going to the hospital, you're gonna be buying prescriptions to keep up with your immune system. But if you're just eating healthy and exercising, you're not gonna have to be buying all the time over-the-counter medication and prescriptions because you have the flu or you have a cough or whatever. So this one thing I've seen a drastic improvement in my health. I'm not trying to preach to you or tell you what to do with your life, but transitioning into a vegan diet is one of the biggest life changes that I ever made in my life, that has made the most improvement that I've ever seen in my life, in my health, my spirit, and my emotional health. I do recommend it, but it doesn't affect me if you're vegan. So I know people are very anti-vegan, but yeah, it changed my life for the better. One super important thing that you can implement today, especially if you have a partner, or you can do this with your parents or even with a child, is have financial meetings every single week to go over your finances, the things that are coming in and out, and exactly where you're spending your money. This really keeps you on track to know exactly how much you're spending on every transaction. I know, especially when you have a little credit card and you're swiping it here, you're swiping it there, it's very easy to disconnect the fact that this is your money, you know, but when you have cash, you see it. People don't really use cash that much. But if you're having financial meetings every single week with yourself or with a partner or with a family member or something, just to be like, okay, this is how much I spent so far, this is what we're doing, this is how much is left, this is really gonna just keep you more conscious about everything you're spending. If you don't wanna do it yourself, there's a really great app called Trim app. I will have a link in the description, but they will tell me every transaction I make, good or bad. They'll keep me on track and tell me exactly where all my money is going. It's a fantastic app and I highly recommend it. Setting up automatic payments is my next tip. So this is something that I do every single month, no matter what my bills are, no matter how much I make. I set aside my savings first. That's the first thing I do, is I pay myself every single month at the beginning of the month. So whatever's left, that's what's left. So if you set up an automatic transfer to your savings, mine's an online savings account, and this is because it's not as easily accessible as a normal savings account that you would just get out of regular bank. This way you can't dip into your savings every little time you think you need something that you really don't need. So setting up automatic transfers to your saving will ensure that you are creating a nest egg no matter how your life is. And for anybody as broke as some of my friends, you can do as little as $10 a month. Every single month you're putting in that into your savings. or every week or every 2 weeks or something, and you would see how this little tiny investment into yourself is gonna make a huge difference. Okay, huge tip that saves me about over $9,000 a year is getting a roommate. I know nobody wants to get a roommate. It sucks. You have to sacrifice your privacy. You have to sacrifice being comfortable, but this is something most people can do. You can get a studio and pay, you know, $600 depending on where you are in the world. You know, in California it's probably a lot more. But in my area where I live in Omaha, Nebraska, it would probably be about $600 for the size that I'm looking for in the area I'm looking for. However, if I had a roommate, if I were to rent a house that's bigger for $800 and it has 2 bedrooms, now my rent is now $400 because I have a roommate. So economically, you're gonna save a lot more doing this. I personally moved back into my parents' house. They are my roommates currently. They've been so generous to let me stay with them while I save up to buy a house. So this is something you can do. Obviously, this is not for everybody. If you have kids or not supportive parents, they'll let you move in with them. But you can also just get a roommate and you can search really anywhere. And if you have the lease in your own name, you can choose the roommates. I will say though, you are gonna size up on a house so you can save money on the rooms. I would not be renting a house that you couldn't afford if everybody just like fell off the face of the earth and stopped paying you, because then you're gonna be in a worse situation. However, when I was in Madrid, I had a psycho roommate and she lived for free off of us. So she milked us for the rent and she lived for free. This is something you can also do, but not to be a horrible person, but just saying. We had the 5 bedrooms, we're all paying about $400 a piece, and she was living for free essentially. If you wanna check out that crazy trick, you can check out this video right here. My last tip is learning how to save on gas every month. So my biggest expenses in life are my food, my traveling, my rent, and my gas. So if I can reduce gas as much as possible, then I'm gonna do that. So I want to recommend you watch this video here, which all my tips and tricks about how to save a lot of money in gas every month. And actually in that video, I give out 3 fantastic apps that you can download to maximize how much you're saving at the gas pump every single week. But just a sneak peek, I mentioned it earlier in the video, but downloading the app Upside, get Upside, the link is in the description. You'll get 15 cents off per gallon the first time by using my link. And hopefully that saves you some money at the gas. But essentially what this gas app will do is will find the cheapest gas in your area around you, but not only that, it's gonna give you cash back on every transaction you have at gas stations that are participating. So I have 3 apps, other apps that you can combine them with to really save a ton of money at the gas tank every single week. So check out that video. I will put a link in that in the description as well. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.